Iran's foreign minister, chief negotiator, and central bank governor are sitting in a room in Doha, mid-peace talks, trying to end a 3-month war with America. And at that exact moment, the U.S. is launching missiles at southern Iran. Same hour, different rooms, completely opposite signals. So, was U.S. strike a self-defense, a provocation, or a negotiating tactic wrapped in a military strike? Let us get into it. The U.S. hit targets near Bandar Abbas, Iran's most critical naval base, sitting right on the Strait of Hormuz. That 33-kilometer choke point carries 20 million barrels of oil every single day, a quarter of all seaborne oil on Earth through one narrow strait. CENTCOM says they targeted Iranian missile launch sites and mine-laying boats. Iranian state media confirmed explosions. Iranian air defenses were activated. The ceasefire, technically in place since April 8th, had just been tested hard. Washington calls it self-defense. CENTCOM said the strikes protected American troops from threats posed by Iranian forces. They were, apparently, using restraint during the ongoing ceasefire. Restraint? While bombing? So, is it actually self-defense? Here's where it gets complicated, because the answer depends entirely on who you ask. Under Article 51 of the UN Charter, nations can defend themselves against imminent threats, even preemptively. Mine-laying boats near American naval assets aren't a future threat. They are a present one. A mine placed today can sink a ship next week. Washington's argument, we removed the threat before it killed our people, that is not aggression, that is force protection. There is a ceasefire. If America gets to call every strike near a contested waterway self-defense, the ceasefire means absolutely nothing. Iran could flip this argument entirely. Their mine-laying was defensive, protecting their own coastline from American warship in their backyard. Self-defense, used this loosely, becomes a blank check to shoot first and explain later. Some analysts are asking, was this really about protecting troops? Or was it a deliberate message to Iran's negotiators in Doha? Make a deal on our terms or this gets worse. If that is true, self-defense isn't a legal position. It is a pressure tactic dressed in a military hardware during a ceasefire. Footage online allegedly shows HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, firing from an undisclosed Gulf nation toward Iran. Precision-guided, 70-kilometer range, mobile enough to shoot and vanish before any counterstrike arrives. HIMARS rewrote the playbook in Ukraine. It is America's weapon of choice here too. The message it sends, we can hit Iran from anywhere, anytime, without warning. And then Iran answered, not with missiles on a base, but in the air. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed it shot down a U.S. MQ-9 drone. They also say they fired on an RQ-4 surveillance drone and an F-35 fighter jet that entered Iranian airspace. No timestamps given, no U.S. confirmation yet. But the IRGC's message was unambiguous. They reserve the legitimate and definite right to retaliate against any ceasefire violation by America. Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, went further, declaring U.S. military bases in the Middle East will no longer have a safe haven in the region. This is no longer just bombs and boats. Iran just shot something out of American skies and called it a warm-up. So Iran has struck back. A drone down, a fighter jet fired upon. The IRGC's message to Washington is loud, clear, and deliberate. But here's the real question now. Was this just the flashpoint or beginning of something more catastrophic?
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to Mirror Now.